especially language expression and theme concept. Of course, there is some takeaway for you. Next. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about how are you going to talk with the audience next. So we're going to really, get to the point. So you're going to present your topic first. You help your audience to understand about what are you going to talk about. Stress on your keywords. Next, who are your target audience? Just like Professor just mentioned about audience. The target audience is the teacher, professor, or another peers, or other students, or juniors. So you're going to really watch out who are they. And last but not least, the purpose of the presentation. Next. Okay, 5W and 1H next. So you're going to really help your student to understand why you are doing this presentation. Why? Tell me the background, tell me the reason why. Ask your students, do some GPT chat or do some interactive software to help your students to really understand about, oh, this is the topic I wanted to do, okay? Next, you wanted to help them. What, and why is the topic, okay? That's really the target we're going to present in our contest. Move to who are the target audience and where are you going to do this presentation. Last but not least, what is your expectation for this presentation? Some of you guys, some of teachers may wonder whether I will cover a discussion or suggestion, okay? So I will suggest that later on I will give you some of the suggested strategy or implementation. Next. VCD, okay, let's move on. What does that mean, VCD? V means visual ads. Next. Visual ads, okay. So visual ads is really important since it's a presentation. But I wanted to share with you, sometimes if I let my students to do this kind of a Kaohsiung or Taipei 创新法语exam, we don't have any slides. We have to prepare everything on our own. We just bring our tools or gadgets, just show the judges what we are doing. For example, this is the gadget. We just show them. We just cover the topic, the features, application, and what we are doing so far, okay? Not really exactly, we have to show them the successful results. You don't have to worry about that, okay? So next, content. Content is 100% content. Last but not least, delivery skills. Because we only have 3 minutes. 3 minutes is really precious, Sometimes we cover a lot of topic. We wanted to move it on from the background to the methods or results. That's really, you're going to really watch out your time. Okay, next. All right. So since in our group we mentioned about we would like you guys to prepare about 6 slides, the front and the end. So most of the slides going to be covered in RD. All right. Next. All right. But the most important thing is that the judges. Who are the judges? You better watch out. Okay. So you're going to ask the judges or ask the audience if they're going to see your show or presentation. You're going to ask them whether it's blurry for you from your seats. So if you feel blurry, move your seat. So this is something we call it triangle principle or non-interference principle. So for example, okay, let's triangle from the visual. Okay, next. And I just asked your question, all right? Is this slide focused? Okay, can you see me? All right, that's kind of question. Okay, next. How are we doing so far? Is it okay? Is it okay for you? Is that okay? Yes or no? Good, thank you. All right, next. Let's talk about language expressions. All right. So something from my opening, I cover my name, the title of the presentation, and simple introduction, and also the most important thing is the purpose for this presentation. Move to next. And also, keynote summary. Yes, keynote summary is very important. It's like your online, okay? And let's move to the agenda, means that something is really important for our project. Last but not least, summarize. Summarize today's briefing. This is about maybe like 10 seconds only, if you can speak fast. All right. Next. All right. So as I mentioned at the very beginning, we're going to cover a lot of diagrams and graphs. So there are some of words you can use there. Okay, next. Next. Let me give you an example. Okay, next. Okay, alright. So this is an example for you.
Can you finish this report by next Tuesday?
I think so. I guesstimate it will only take me another day or two to finish it.
Great. I've read Mr. Miller's email, and I figure he will want to read through it before Tuesday's staff meeting.
I bet you're right.
Okay, so well, in these slides, this is just only an example. You may use them to adapt in your presentation or student's presentation. So for example, I figure means that guesstimate. Okay, please show me guesstimate, or I think, I wonder, or no, I figure, something like that. Alright, so there's a lot of replace words. You can use that. I have a hunch. I bet. Okay, alright, next. Okay, please.
This seminar probably won't start on time.
Right. Based on previous experience, I expect some attendees will be late.
I feel like we also need to give them some time to find their seats.
I am sure you're right.
Okay, so well, there are a lot of replace words. You can use that. So for example, I believe, I expect, or I guess, I feel like on the bottom part, I'm sure, I'm certain, things like that. Okay, a lot of words can replace the same words. Just give you some students some confidence how they use the wording in their presentation. Next. All right. So if you have the diagrams, like on the right-hand side, okay, the table, so you can help your students. As you can see that the table indicates the number, the horizontal axis, the vertical axis means that. Okay, so we're going to practice in the afternoon. Okay, next. Okay, so get to the point. Let's talk about thing concept. All right. So we're going to cover introduction, method, results, discussion. Next. In your introduction, sometimes some people think that the most important thing to make your audience feel impressive. So that's why your introduction needs to be the most memorable. However, I believe Q&A will be the most important one of all. So in the introduction, you probably can help your student to explain about the keywords, especially to elaborate about the definition of the keywords. Ask your student 2 questions. Next. First question. So here, ask your student, how do you usually begin your presentation? Okay? So ask them. Or ask yourself, and what is an effective introduction? Effective means that the crucial one. Okay, how are you going to make your audience impressive? Okay, so you're going to share your experience or ask your student to answer the question. Okay, some of you probably will show the judges. If you don't have, if you have a poster, that's fine. So you're going to do this kind of an interactive thing. All right, so you're going to ask your student, what does an effective introduction? Okay, accept your name, the topic, how are you going to impress the judges? All right, so that's the most important thing, the opening. Okay, next. So from the very beginning, you're going to use the active tone, 主动. Okay, active tone. Keep it simple. We also say kiss, K-I-S-S. Anybody know what does that mean, kiss? Keep it Very good. It's simple and short. Means kiss. All right. So we only have 3 minutes. Time is really constrained. So 3 minutes. Keep the sentence short and simple. Next. Okay. For example, all right. Use the active tone. The budgetary approach is the most economic one for our group. Okay. Or the integrated communication using displaying involve a variety of media to achieve the best solution for our current users. Something like that. Okay, this is active tone. Alright, next. Okay, here I show you some of the table or graphs or photos. Okay, let's do a little bit, example. Okay.
5. Making it visual. Listening.
1. And if you're wondering why more and more convenience stores seem to be opening across Taiwan all of the time, there's a good reason. They make money. Did you know that 7 out of 10 people say they visit a convenience store every day? That's every day. Think about it. A cup of coffee here, a pack of cigarettes there, a microwaved meal now and then. It all adds up to big profits. That's why many investors...
Let's pause here. Okay, let's pause here.
2.
Okay, let's pause
Sure.
here. Okay, so the tone and intonation is clear. It's not really fast. It's okay, pass. And also, obviously, as you just hear the previous sound, you may choose that B will be the answer because 3 out of 10, all right, 3 out of 7, okay, things like that. So this is the number to cover the population. They are go to the convenience store. Okay, can we show them the next one? The next sound. Let's continue.
2. Sure, factories are important. They provide jobs for people and produce goods for consumers. Unfortunately, they also produce a lot of pollution. Factory smoke is one of the leading causes of air pollution, and waste and sewage from factories are one main contributor to the pollution in our lakes and rivers. Company executives need to work with local governments to find a workable balance between the needs of our economy and our environment. This problem has been with us for a long time.
Okay, this is about...
3. What is the most...
Let's pause here, yes. So just mention about, this is about pollution issue. So in the visual right here, which one will be suitable for? B exactly, pollution will be the key words, all right? That's good, okay. So let's move to the next one. Yes. Just show me the
To play
example.
music on Spotify? Well, it depends on who you ask. Age, location, and background are all big factors in determining our musical tastes. But there can be no doubt that rock and roll is still king. Rock continues to dominate the airwaves, while other genres like classical and jazz still remain underappreciated.
Okay, so here we talk about music. All right, so there's a lot of alternative music, including R&B, alternative, Latin, R&B. So which photos will be fitting? So that will be A, photo A. Is that clear for you? That's right, okay. So when we explain to our audience, we can pretty much will adapt this kind of sound and path and help our audience to understand more about the poster or the visual ads we're going to show them. Let's move to the next slide. Okay. All right, some of the table is really complicated, but don't worry about that. And we can show them about the results. Okay, the results. So for example, if it's dropping, we can say decline. Okay, decline here, right here. All right. So it's maybe sometimes it's got to be 表现很好. Okay, something like that. It's right here, level out. Okay, like here. 表现不错. Okay, it's not. It's keeping balanced. Okay, so we can use those kind of words. All right. letterhead, decline. So the member move to the peak, okay? And also upturn, okay, things like that. Depends on the vertical axis, what's the population, or what's the subject, and also horizontal axis, what's the subject. So we're going to explain to the audience. Next. Okay. Next. Okay, here comes the video.
Earlier this year, we've seen a considerable increase in our international student memberships. Let's look at which countries these students are coming from and which clubs and societies they're choosing to join. This graph represents the international students currently studying at the university. The vertical axis represents the number of students, and the horizontal axis represents their country of origin. As you can see, most international students are coming from 4 key areas: China, Japan, Nigeria and India. As the graph shows, the University Travel Club is still the most popular society for international students, particularly for students from China and Nigeria. But I would also draw your attention to 2 other societies, the Student Debating Group and the Drama Circle. As the data here indicates, the Student Debating Group is popular choice with Indian students, and the Drama Circle attracts lots of members from Japan.
Okay, so according to this part of the episode, the professor just only covered
As
about
I
a
mentioned
minute.
earlier-
Alright, so I just want to explain to you about when we mentioned about the results, which is a good example, just only to cover about 1 minute only. Okay, 1 minute only. It doesn't have to be really cover a lot of the slides. You just show them the exact results and help them to do this kind of discussion as well. Okay, so you can help your students to do this kind of an interactive tool to help them to fill it out, the words. The most important thing is that to be familiar, to help your student to be familiar with this kind of sentence and words and patterns. So for example, the number of international students joining club has been decreasing. This kind of sentence, you can also help your student to adapt in their presentation. Okay, so we can use these kind of phrases or sentences. So for example, the second one, the graph. Just now the graph, right? The graph show you, so the graph provides information about blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this sentence is really good example to help the students to understand more about how to use them or adapt those important sentences into their talk. Sometimes like this kind of science talk usually really covers a lot of things, but just give your students some of the signposts. Signpost means that what's the most important thing on the top of all? Or sometimes we can say that what the first of all, next, furthermore, in conclusion. Those kind of things can be adapted in the content or the results as well. Okay, so next. Okay, if we have time, we can do this kind of exercise. All right, but we're looking at the sentence for each of the sentences. Like number 3, very few students from China seem to be interested in the drama club. Okay, so these will be the keywords, key sentences to show them the results. The most important thing is the results. For example, number 4, the University Travel Club is the least popular with students from India. Okay, so this is a good example. What is the most popular? What is the least popular with the students from which country? Okay. For example, sentence 5. Most Japanese students seem to join the debating club. So the professor used the word seem to, because from the table show a lot of Japanese students would like to join the debating groups. Alright. Last but not least, Nigerian students seem to join fewer clubs than students from other countries. So you may use this kind of sentence to explain to your students how to cover this kind of a table or a diagram to tell the audience what to say. Okay, let's review the video again. Yeah, we'll do the video and also the sentence together.
So now let's look at how international students spend their leisure time. This table provides an overview of 200 students from Newtown College in 2007. As you can see, the first column, the column on the left, shows the student's country of origin. And then the 6 columns on the right provide details of their different leisure activities. The points involved represent the most popular activities for each ethnic group. As this data shows, playing computer games was rated as the most popular leisure activity for Chinese students. For the Japanese, on the other hand, the most popular activity was shopping. The Nigerians said that they liked playing sport best, and finally the Indian students responded that their favourite leisure time activity was meeting friends.
Okay, right. Let's move back to the slides. Okay, I want to give you an example. Okay, the example is that show the students how to interact with their audience. Something they have to watch out, the student number, okay, according to the diagram or table. So how many students took part in the survey? Are 200, okay, things like that. Okay, come on, yes. What was the purpose of the survey? Okay, according to the survey, is to find out how international students spend their leisure time. Leisure means that activity or recreational time, okay? So this kind of sentence is pretty much like, well, to help you students to understand more, to talk about, especially straight out the keywords like the international group, such as Japan, Nigeria, China, Korean group, okay? And the population of all participants participate in this kind of survey. Just help you to understand more about the video content. Right. Next one. Okay. So now let's talk about discussion. All right. Discussion is the most important one. Just now we covered the background information, which is our introduction, and also the purpose of the presentation. The most important thing is that to tell the judges and the target audience about the feature of the gadget or our invention for the science. And now let's move it on to talk about something they can really understand or they really feel like it's very important, something they can take away. So for example, first of all, probably in about the last 30 seconds or a minute, 最后1分钟, okay, the last minute, we're going to cover what do we do, what is the purpose of this topic, and also what about the method, simple method, and what's the results. And something we're going to cover is the most significant one. Okay, the significant one is something we discovered. Okay, so this is the most important part. Just now, Professor Chiu mentioned about something different from the other research. We call this research gap. The research gap is very important. So this is here we can cover about the things different from the other people's or the other researchers discover. So some of the implementation, some of the application we can use in our educational purposes or science purposes. The last but not least, the most important thing is that clarify and make correction. If something, I say something incorrect, or I wanted to avoid some blunders or mistakes, here is the thing I can cover or making corrections. Okay. Next. Okay. Here is the discussion part, all right? Let me do a little bit summary for today's presentation. This presentation is about English presentation framework and skills, which covers VCD rules, names, visual ed, content, and discussion. In this presentation, you can cover about 6 slides, including your introduction, your method, discussion, and the most important thing is that show the audience the most important part. And practice with your body language. I think that sometimes if you wanted to focus on the speech, you can pause your speech. 暂时先停一下, okay? So that your judges or audience to really understand or can really flashback about what you just mentioned about. Some of the students nowadays, they like to use the smartphone. So they jot down all the words on the smartphone. That's okay, because according to my experience, some of my students, they cannot really memorize all those kind of keywords or definition, or some of the words they cannot really say it. So they can just, the no parts or smartphone will show them or help them to say something in the following. And I think that this contest is to help your student to build up their confidence instead of increasing their anxiety. So this is the thing, help them and enjoying them and just, I think that we just watch their grow and to help them feel like this is a very interesting game, alright? So the most important thing is that slides only help us to move the presentation smoothly, but this is not a necessary tool. Last but not least, let's go to the next. Okay, especially us, alright? So English is not our mother tongue. Usually, a lot of students will really, like some of the teachers just mentioned about the student really feel anxious, they don't know what to say. And to help them build up their confidence step by step. Okay, don't give them a lot of things at one time, one at a time. Especially help them to have this kind of structure, sentence pattern, the argument. I think that sometimes example is very good. Example, it's kind of like story to help your target audience to understand more. Give them an example. How are things doing effectively? Of course, the diagrams. Cover some diagrams or photo or pictures. That will be very visual. Some of the audience like that. Tell the story, cover the visual or photos or table or diagrams. Next. Okay, here is some of the preparation for us. So before our presentation, I think that most of the teachers have the idea in your mind. You probably would choose certain kind of an area you wanted to cover with your research or with your teaching progress. Or some of the topic students may like to cover those kind of things. So first thing is that to help your students to know more about the topic if they really are interested in doing that. According to my experience, whenever I will work with the student, a group of students, I'll show them some of the inventions we already invented. 我们在刚刚的国际发明展的手册里面，在哪里可以给我吗？ Yes. Okay. Let me show you an example. Every year, our university attend this kind of invention, international invention, and we will have this kind of a booklet to show the judges before. But the thing is that I would say that some of the topic is really interesting. It's not from the teachers, it's from the students. So ask your student, what's the most important thing? You wanted to do it in this contest. Okay, so that will be the most important game. Alright, next. Okay, since I will 2 minutes, okay? Let's show them the video, yes.
Tops in the UK come out of the universities. Next into the den is James Barnum, who hopes to be the latest example of that. He's asking the Dragons for £150,000.
Hello Dragons, my name's James Barnum. I have a first-class honours degree in industrial design from London South Bank University. I've invented a product that stops baths overflowing automatically. Now, today I'm going to ask you for £150,000 for 10% equity of my company. In the UK, the insurance industry pays out a whopping £250 million per year, clearing up the damage caused from people leaving taps running. But I have the solution. If I can give you a demonstration. This is my NovaFlow product. It's a small mechanical unit that fits underneath the taps in a bath. Because it's mechanical, it's intrinsically safe because there's no electrical supply of batteries. It's easily fitted to both UK and European tap dimensions, and it takes about 20 minutes to fit. If I could give you a typical scenario. There you are at home, running the bath. Next thing you know, your phone phones. So you run downstairs to answer the phone. Now this is a dangerous point. Your bath is filling up with water, but thankfully you have an overflow fitted, so the taps stop. As far as it goes, it's such a simple device that to reset this, all you need to do is make sure that there's no more water going through the overflow outlet, and then simply turn off the taps. They're ready to turn back on again, the unit's completely reset. Now I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the market. In year 1, we've got a projected turnover of 25,000 units. In year 2, 75,000 units, and in year 3, 150,000 units. In year 1, we're having NovaFlow produced in the UK for £13 per unit. In year 2, we're going to have NovaFlow produced in China, where we can have them made for £5 per unit, and we'll be selling these by direct sales for £60, and to the distributors for £35, so everybody can make their markup, and I'm still making decent margins. Can I answer any questions?
Okay, this talker just used about 2 minutes and a half.
Next into the den.
There are 3 things to take away today. The first thing, well prepare your topic. Second thing, keep it simple and short. Last but not least, 3 minutes. Thank you.